thank you all for coming out here and joining us in the Oratorical Festival. So clap it up for that. Let's just get right into it. So DJ, drop that.
I talk, I speak, I got strength. I'm not weak like Frederick Douglass.
are smart. They got speed like Ferraris. People are smart. They move up hard. I'm the legacy, got the ancestry. Shout out to Harriet. She's the one, she did it. I'm a boss. I never took a loss. If you hate, you just mad because you ain't a boss. I'm on a play for the NBA. I'm starting with the new career. Helping my community, being all that I can be. Helping the brothers on the street. I'm black. I'm proud. I'm really, really loud. My name is Akir. I'm an engineer. Gonna be a guy. Get it through school. Get it past college. Get it degrees. Now I'll be free. I help the community. As an engineer, I'll build homes. Produce electricity. Give water to my people. Like Nat Turner. Fighting for his legacy. So can be free. Like me. My name is Cameron. I am an athlete and an African. I am going to help my community. Going to save black people, my police. I am smart and black. I am cool and smooth. I am going to give money to the homeless and be a voice for the voiceless. I am black and I'll always be black. That's who I am, cause I'm the man. Shout out to my grandfather, he fought in the World War II. Trying to save me and you, I am a child of God. My name is Cameron. You need to remember that, cause I'm helping me and you be sad. I'm confident and proud, not perfect, but loud. I'm black, no lack, that's me, that's that. I'm following my ancestors, their legacy, and what they had to leave me. They inspire me to be all I can be and maximize my creativity. I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna go to the school of art to learn how to act and sing and many other cool things. Queen Anne and sing, she inspired me. The way she fought against the Portuguese. So that's me, my history, and what my ancestors did for me. up brothers with the cause. In life, I'ma go so far. I don't take L's. If you think I do, you just fail. Yeah, they call me Evo for a reason. Scoring touchdowns is for my season.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
hello, WOSE members and friends and family. My name is X9 Farah Teasley, and I am here to be your host for Youth Sunday today. So now, welcome one and all to WOSE Community Church of the Sacred African Way. Today is Youth Sunday, and our youth have been working hard to present a wonderful service for you today. Next, we will have our affirmations with Sister Indigo and Sister Imani, followed by a cultural expression by the Wose Watoto Indigo, Wose Watoto. Indigo and Imani?
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined. Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors, and to honor the struggles of our elders. Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us. Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance. Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland. We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people. We are an African people. We are children of God.
The affirmations. And now the Watoto video.
What we believe and what we practice.
WOSE Community Church is a community of the way. The way is Ma'at, truth, justice, and righteousness.
We believe in the teachings of our elders and our ancestors, that the Creator God created the universe and all life, and has placed in each of us a part of the divine spirit.
God living in us and through us has given us the right and the power to establish peace and justice in all human life and true harmony with all of creation.
Our way is not merely ritual or belief. Our way is the way of life.
Our way is not a random path. Our way begins with coherent understanding. It is a way that aims of preserving our knowledge of who we are.
It is with this conviction that we study the rich heritage of our African people. The way is reciprocity. The way is wholeness.
The way is unity and self-determination. It is creativity, collective work, and responsibility.
Our way is faith, purpose, and cooperative economics. The way knows no oppression. Our way creates our way, worships and praise the God of our ancestors. The way is life. The way destroys only destruction. Come and go with us. We are following the way. Come and go with us. We are following the way. Come and go with us. We are following the way. Amen Ra, Amen Ra. We're following the way. No more self-hatred. We are following the way. No more self-hatred. We are following the way. No more self-hatred. We are following the way. Amen Ra, Amen Ra. We're following the way. Work, study, and pray to restore the sacred way. Work, study, and pray to restore the sacred way. Work, study, and pray to restore the sacred way. Amen Ra, Amen Ra. We're following the way. Amen Ra, Amen Ra. We're following the way. Amen Ra, Amen Ra. We're following the way.
Thank you, Baba Jeff, for playing the video of the Wose Watoto. And thank you, Sister Indigo and Imani, again for the affirmations. Next, we will have our historical tributes, first by Mithaminet, then by Sister Julia. Mithaminet?
They're muted. As they're working on getting unmuted. I mean, these children have already done a fantastic job. This is, we think that this Biko Sunday is for the children, but it's really for the adults.
Really?
And we are really thrilled with what we've seen so far. Okay, looks like she's ready. All right, go ahead.
Okay, guys, we're working on this. Sorry. Let's see.
You went back on mute. It's coming. Yeah, I mean, really, they've a lot of great coordination. Okay, you're ready. Oh, you went in and out just that quick. Okay, now it's right.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, For some reason, this is a little different. So let's see how we're going to do it. Okay.
Susan McKinney Stewart, caring children's doctor. In March 1847 in Brooklyn, New York, Sylvanus and Annie Smith welcomed their seventh child, a beautiful baby girl named Susan Maria Smith. Some say Susan became interested in medicine after caring for her niece who died from illness. In 1867, when she was 20 years old, Susan entered the New York Medical College and Hospital for Women in New York City. The college taught homeopathy. Many people did not trust this type of medicine, but Susan was fascinated by it. Susan was the first Black woman to attend the medical college. She was an excellent student. She studied plants and how they could be used to treat illnesses. When her classmates were sleeping, Susan was up studying. She spent all long hours at the hospital learning to take care for the sick. In 1870, Susan graduated. She was the first Black woman to receive a medical degree in New York State and the third in the United States. Right away, Dr. Suzanne Smith opened a doctor's office in Brooklyn home. In the beginning, business was slow, but good word about Susan began to spread from her patients. After a while, her practice started to grow. Soon, Suzanne opened another office in Manhattan. She treated everyone there. There were stories about her in newspapers. She was famous. In 1871, Suzanne married and had two children, William and Anna Sally, in 1890. The doctor's husband came ill and died. 3 years later, she married the captain of the 25th U.S. Colored Infantry, the Buffalo Soldiers. The doctor traveled with her husband to different forts where she treated many Black soldiers. She gave lectures to the public about health, nutrition, and medicine, women's right to and the progress of Black women. In 1881, Suzanne helped found the Memorial Hospital for Women and Children. She looked after senior citizens at the Brooklyn Home for Aged Colored People. She was on the staff of the New York Medical College and Hospital for Women. Suzanne also belonged to the New York State Homeopathic Medical Society. The dedicated doctor died on March 7, 1918. She was 71 years old. Thank you, Susan McKinney Stewart.
Thank you, Ms. Aminette. And now for Sister Jalea.
Okay. Greetings. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You've muted yourself now.
Unmute.
Okay. Alvin Ailey Dance Camp created Alvin Ailey Dance Camp and Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, specifically focusing on his 10 camps. Nasha Thomas oversees Ailey Camp and designs the national outreach for Ailey's arts and education and community programs. As a primary liaison between the Ailey organization and national arts and education community, she plays a central role in working with local communities to develop and run Ailey Camp cities across the U.S., as well as managing national residencies, leading workshops, and teaching master classes, helping arts and education reach over 100,000 each year through education and initiatives. A graduate of New York High School for Performing Arts and Southern Methodist University, she received the prestigious Presidential Scholar Award of Arts. At the invitation of Ailey Camp, under the direction of Judith Jameson, Miss Thomas danced with Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater from 1986 to 1998. These are some of the pictures from our previous shows. I'm right here, you're right there. So Ailey Camp is about, there are 12 Ailey camps. To name a few: Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, Chicago, Miami, Berkeley / Oakland, Baltimore, and Seattle. I will mainly focus on Berkeley Oakland Camp. Ailey has 4 technique classes, which includes modern, ballet, jazz, and West African. There are 2 classes for you to settle down and focus on your inner self: creative communications, CC, and personal development, PD. You do not have to be a dancer to be an Ailey Camp. That's a stereotype. Even if you've never had a dance camp class before, it also helps you learn. Patricia West is an educator and performing artist in the Bay Area. She aims to create and support spaces that foster self-expression and collaboration. She earned her bachelor's in arts and English, education and dance from UC Berkeley, and a master's in arts and education from San Jose State University. Since 2001, West has had an honor of working as an academic teacher in both public and private schools, from kindergarten to middle school. She has also taught dance to all age and skill levels, from preschoolers to adults. Most recently, West has founded and directed dance programs and served as a middle school advisor / teacher. West has had the honor of working and performing both nationally and internationally with the Alayo Dance Company and the Zaco Dance Theater, Fog Beast, as well as many others. Since 2006, West has been the company member and creative management lead with San Francisco-based dance theater organization with Joe Goad, the Performance Group. West co-founded DAP, a performing arts collective, in 2017. She is the director of Berkeley Oakland Camp. Spulu / Spencer Pula is a creative mover, storyteller, and dance maker, fashion designer, and performing artist from Chosheno, Ohlone Land / Oakland, California. Spulu is a former Ailey camper of 2005. Years after experience as an Ailey camper, Spulu also served as a volunteer group leader, supervisor, and now joins the Ailey camp as an associate director. Their artistic work has been showcased all over the world in response to social issues facing Pacific Islanders worldwide, specifically the Tongan community. Spulu uses art and movement as a form of resistance and protest. His recent work was featured in the 2020 Oakland Black Joy Parade, Levi's Pride 2019 international campaign. They also created a Nike shoe, Nike Oak, which was sold out in the first few days of launch. Spulu is currently working as a fashion designer from his studio while serving as a birth advocate for the Pacific Islander Doula Collective in the San Francisco Bay Area. Spulu is super excited to join the Ailey Camp team this year and hopes to foster the same community as he's encountered for these past years. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Jalea and Sister Mithaminet for those historical tributes. Next, we will have more cultural expressions by Sister Charlene, and Baba Jeff will play the video.
Good morning, Wuse. My name is Charlene Harton, and today I bring you my cultural expression, which is an original poem written by myself. In my palms, I hold my future. Within my spirit, I hold the blood from my past. The past in which our ancestors created a path for our future. The fragile future that can so easily be taken away. So I fight against those outside forces that continuously try to work against me. And like the seed planted by my past, I grow and stand strong, securing a better future. For without the past, there is no now. Without now, no future. I thank my past for this opportunity, this chance, which allowed me to hold my future within my palm, and the power from my past. Thank you.
I see.
Thank you, Baba Jeff, for showing the video. Now we will have the Litany of Sacrifice by Brother Donovan and Sister Sabatisa Zionai.
Good day, Wose. On your screen, you will see different ways to financially contribute your offerings. The websites are there. The websites are on the screen. If you want to send your check or money order through the mail, the addresses are there as well. Save us, O Holy One. Save us, O Holy One,
by your name.
Vindicate us by
your might. Hear my prayer,
divine protector.
Listen to the words of my mouth.
How can we repay the Holy
One for the gifts that have been given to us?
We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices
to you. We
will praise your name, O Amara, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Fuji Chagalita, self-determination. We shall define name. Create and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together.
Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own business and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe in all our hearts in our God and our people and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Yeah, I read that.
Thank you, Brother Donovan and Sister Sabatisa, for the litany of sacrifice. Now, if we will all take a deep breath, open our minds and hearts, and be ready to receive the awesome message for today from Minister Amadi.
Oh, I'm on already. Thank you. Thank you. Well, just a blessing to be here with everybody. I always feel such a privilege when I get an opportunity to share here at Will Say. And I'm just happy that I'm able to share on one of the youth Sundays. And it's just immense. I remember when I was a little kid and they used to have me get up doing poems and things. And, you know, it's just so important that the children get an opportunity to be on the stage and, you know, to perform and to express themselves. So I just think it's wonderful. And I just want to encourage you young people to just keep up the good work. Keep up the great work that you do. Today, I have a message. It's for, it's for us and for the youth. And my message is about wealth building. I want to encourage us to pass on to our children the resources that they will need to advance themselves and the future generations, you know, for themselves and for future generations, and to teach them to do the same for their children. And we also need resources to fund the movement to liberate our people. So resources are important because too often in our efforts to just express ourselves and to be free, we have to deal with limited resources. And so as creative as we are, though, we shouldn't have that problem. We're just too creative. We have too many ideas. And we should not be resource limited. And so the primary idea, and this is another idea I want to share, which is the primary idea I like to focus on as it relates to African-American nation building, is the idea of ownership and control. That we seek to own and control the institutions and businesses in our communities. And the best way we can teach our children is through our example. My topic today, expand your thinking to raise your condition. Expand your thinking to raise your condition. We need to think bigger and teach our children to think big. As we think bigger, our conditions will be transformed from the inside out. Another idea that I have embraced is the idea that we must seek African solutions to African problems. If we are to seek to build wealth, we must do it in an African way, using the African concept of shared good. As we prosper, our community should be prospering with us. And as we rise, we should be bringing up somebody right along the way with us as we are rising. So the first reading, I have a reading from the Hosea that I want to share. And let me pull up my screen and pull up that reading. I think this is it. Oh, no, that's not the one. Sorry, that's the wrong reading. Okay. There we go. This is it here. Oh, somehow I'm getting no problems here. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna just close the one that I don't need to have up. Yeah, that way when it'll only be one to come up. Sorry, you guys. There we go. Here it is. So here's the reading. You can read it, right along, you can read it as I'm reading it. And so I'm going to read this reading. It's from the Hosea, page 69. It's taken from the book of Februar. I think that's how you pronounce it, the 5th stanza. Those who give food generously when they have money are the ones whom fate gives fortune. For wealth goes to those who give food to others by means of it. The heart of God is satisfied when the poor stand provided for before him. Thus, if you acquire property, give a portion to God by giving a portion to the poor. If you acquire property, spend it on your town so that there will be no turmoil in it. If it is in your power, invite those far away as well as those near you. For those who invite those from far away, their name will be great when they go afar. Those who love their neighbors will find a family around them. God allows one to acquire wealth in return for doing good. And those who give food to the poor, God takes them to himself in mercy without measure. So basically, that reading is talking about the Ma'at principle of reciprocity. As you give good, good is going to come back to you. God works through spiritual laws, which basically are patterns of nature. The divine spirit is called Unter, which is nature without the vowels. And so the specific spiritual law that we're dealing with here is called the law of receiving. The law cannot supply our need without a pattern to work with. If you want to receive some good, you must first give some good to build upon. Share your good, and more good will come back to you. That's how it works. That's the way you receive. You receive by giving. Okay, so 1 second. I like to put the gallery up so I can see everybody. I don't want to just look at myself. Okay, so we're going to look again at another reading from Hosea to gain the understanding that the power of creation is in our thoughts and words. And so I'm going to read you an excerpt from the reading on Ra as Ptah. All right, so now let me just move this down. I got to kind of line up. This is our next reading from the Hosea, page 6. Ptah Ra is within everybody as heart and mind, and within every heart and within every mouth as tongue. And he thinks as heart and mind and commands as tongue whatever he wishes. The seeing of the eyes, the hearing of the ears, and the breathing of the nose are communicated to the heart and mind. And the heart and mind cause all perceptions to come forth. And what the heart and mind think and wish is declared by the tongue. So were all divine powers created, and the company of divine powers completed. So what I hear this saying, teaching us, is that that our thoughts and our words are powerful, and that our ability to speak is really a divine power if we know how to use it. It tells us that we have the ability to co-create our experiences, starting with our thoughts and words, because Ra as Ptah is in our mouth as the words that we speak. So when we understand the idea that our thoughts and words release the potential for the ultimate manifestation of our righteous desires, we come to a conclusion that based on spiritual law, anything we want or need is just an idea away. Anything you want is just an idea away. When the leaders of WOSE, such as Minister Makalisi, were inspired to lead this spiritual community and to become an African-centered spiritual community, they first contemplated the idea, declared it, and then boldly stepped forward to implement the idea. And here we are today. When we initiate that process of intentional thought, word, and action, we will inevitably produce a good result. This is based on the traditional African teachings regarding the methodology of good speech. Good speech teaches us that there is no real distinction between thought, word, and action. That is why we're taught to speak ma'at and do ma'at, speak truth and do truth. So we engage the divine mind, the creator Ra. We engage this aspect, which is mind, but also Ra, by always adding the element of willingness to act in alignment with our intended results and with truth principles, with the understanding that whatever we want or need, again, is just an idea away. Not just believed and affirmed, but also acted upon. So this is something that I feel our children should know. There is no limit to what we can achieve using spiritual law. We can set in motion a process of an exponential growth factor that will make our current status irrelevant, just like a seed that grows into a tree that is millions of times larger than when it started. Just as the soil acts upon that seed, so does the soil of the divine mind, Amen-Ra, act upon the seed idea that we plant into it with our petitions, our acceptance, our affirmations, and our action. Our thought becomes a force of nature that produces a desired result. It doesn't, and this is the good thing here, it doesn't matter where we are in our process of unfoldment, no matter how far behind we are, no matter what stage we are in our development. Because using the tool of our creative thought, we can begin expanding our thinking so that we can lift the conditions of our lives step by step, level upon level, from where we are to where we want to be. And so I want to share a short quote about self-mastery. And here it is right here. You know you have mastered a soul lesson when the circumstance has not changed, but the way you respond has. This is true energy self-mastery. Our life conditions, the conditions, whatever's going on in our lives, are 10% based on what happens to us and 90% based on how we respond to what happens to us. And so there's another operating spiritual principle that I want to share for advancing ourselves in life. It's called the law of compensation. If you want more, you must become better. If you continue to expand the quality of your thoughts, words, and actions, you will outgrow your space and raise your conditions in life. This is a strategy. Just keep getting better and better. Pretty soon, where you are won't be able to hold you. That's the strategy. You're embracing something bigger, a bigger self-image, in fact. I remember when I tried this out when I was an eligibility worker with the welfare department, and I wanted to be promoted to a supervisor. And so I started pretending like I was already a supervisor who was just temporarily assigned to work as an eligibility worker. I started thinking and acting like a supervisor and producing the best work possible that I could. And sure enough, I got that promotion. It really doesn't matter where you are, like I said, on the spectrum of life. What we need and want and desire is only an idea away. Enlarge your thinking and self-image to embrace what you want to experience. So to advance to the next level, we must think outside of the box of our current situation. We have to break the patterns of behavior that are keeping us stuck in our current situation and learn the hidden, unspoken rules that govern those levels that are above us and to which we want to ascend. As that famous quote says, the thinking that got you into a situation or problem will not get you out of that situation or problem. In essence, if we want something, we must expand our thinking to see ourselves with it and worthy of having it. If Africans in America seriously want to build a national identity and functioning as a people, we must move from a condition of dependency to a condition of sovereignty, self-rule. Metaphorically, we must move from a condition of poverty to a condition of wealth. And so I use those financial terms both metaphorically and literally, because many of us are literally in a condition of poverty, survival mode, as it relates to our financial affairs. African people are rich in resources. Like I said, we have such creative talent. We have so much inner resources. A lot of people, when they look at Africa, they think of all the external resources like the cobalt and everything, but they don't even think about all the rich teachings that we're studying and learning, and all these African processes and traditions. You're right. We're rich in that. We're rich in so much. But we don't seem to be rich in the control of those resources. Individually and collectively, most of us are saddled with debt, and not to each other, but to European institutions. That is true for Africans in America, on the African continent, and throughout the diaspora. That's the condition that many of us are in. But like we say, we can expand our thinking to raise our condition. The point I'm making is that we must change and expand our thinking if we want to move from a condition of dependency, survival, and poverty to a condition of independence, prosperity, and wealth. I was inspired by a financial seminar given by my cousin during a family reunion I attended in North Carolina. It was entitled Transforming Your Financial Life. It was partly based on a book entitled Bridges Out of Poverty by Ruby Payne. So I'm going to go ahead on and put that in the chat in case if anyone, after I share some of the things that come out of that book, if anybody's interested, I'll just have it right there for you if you are interested. And so although my cousin gave it as a financial presentation, the principles apply to all levels of experience. So I'm using the financial example as a metaphor for assessing and changing any condition you may be dealing with. The book says that we generally make our plans from the position of where we are and what we know. To raise the level of our condition, we must start thinking above our current circumstances. We must get out of the box or circle of where we are and start doing more abstract thinking away from our current activities. You do that by creating space in your life for prayer, meditation, deep thought, and analysis. And for the young people, you need to create relationships with mentors who are doing what you would like to do and can give you advice and guidance, because you can't do better if you don't know better. So you need to put yourself in the environment of people who are doing what you want to do. So that's going to raise your thinking and your whole perception. This is something our children need to know. They need to plan from that abstract place of where they envision their life going, and not from the place of their current activities and habit patterns. Again, we must expand our thinking to raise our condition. And so the book did research on the 3 basic economic classes, those of poverty, middle class, and wealth. And in reading this, they found that there are different motivating forces at work at each level, and different hidden, unspoken rules and habits that people follow, that they have different mindsets. So I'm going to share a chart on some of the findings. Okay, here's the chart right there. Okay, I'm going to leave this up for a minute while I talk about what some of these findings were. For example, people on the poverty level generally think in terms of, their mindset is generally in terms of survival. They think about entertainment and establishing relationships that can be used to share resources. The middle class, they focus more, their mindset is focused more on work, achievement, and material security. That's what motivates them. And for the wealthy, they're focused on making financial, political, and social connections, because the wealthy are always trying to set up power alliances to gain access to markets and other investment opportunities, or to climb up in social status and influence. So you see, this is a different mindset. And so we need to raise our awareness of what is happening around us so that we're not playing checkers while those around us are playing chess. We must be aware of the game. Then we can play it in ways that support our goals, using African solutions to solve African problems. So now let's look at some of these areas, at how money, time, and food are viewed based on economic status. For those in poverty, all money is to be used and spent. If they get a windfall, they think about what they can buy with it. I'm thinking about my niece, who was always struggling financially. When she got her tax return, the first thing she did was turn her cable TV back on and buy a new television set. Even though she was struggling with her finances, that was her first priority. For the middle class, money is to be managed. And for the wealthy, money is to be saved and invested. As it relates to time, for those experiencing poverty, the present is most important. Decisions are made for the moment based on feelings or on survival. For the middle class, the future is most important. Decisions are made against future ramifications. For the wealthy, traditions and history are most important. Decisions are made partially on the basis of tradition and with the idea of building a legacy. As it relates to food, the studies show that those experiencing poverty conditions focus on the question, do you have enough? Did you have enough? So quantity is the main factor. For those in the middle class, the question is, did you like it? Quality is most important. And for those experiencing wealth, the key question is, was it presented well? Presentation is important. So I listed those examples to illustrate that people experiencing various levels of conditions in life tend to think differently, plan differently, and act differently. So if we want to ascend to higher levels of abundance and not just financially, we need to think differently about the things that we're doing. And I'm really, I was putting this message together. I said, you know what? I got to implement this myself. I got to create some space and really start thinking about the things I want to do and really begin to project so that I'm planning and thinking at another level, at the next level, right? And so this is something that I needed. So I was like, I'm glad that I was teaching this because I said I needed this for myself. Right? And I promise you, I'm gonna be implementing these ideas for myself. And so if we want to ascend, then we have to think differently. We and our children need to live self-examined lives where we are questioning our actions and monitoring our progress toward the goals we have set for ourselves. We need to create space in our lives for spiritual reflection and inspiration so that we can see beyond our current situation. We must consult our ancestors daily for guidance. We need to teach our children to look to build not just friendships, but what are called bridge relationships. And she talks about that in the book, with people who can act as bridges to help them to advance as they help others to advance as well. We always got to do it the way Africans do it, though. We don't do it the way the Europeans do it. We know that we believe in shared good. So we want our children not only to advance, but we want them to understand that, this is about mutual advancement. And so we can think, we have to give as well as receive, or else we're not doing it the African way. We can think of ourselves as CEOs of our life experience. We must model for our children what it looks like to budget our money and schedule our time. Let's think in terms of the legacies that we are creating with our lives and the examples we are setting for those who look up to us. What examples are we showing them, and how are we teaching them with our example? Let's train our youth to think in terms of ownership and not just getting a job, and of creating generational wealth that they can pass on to their children, not just in money, but in values and traditions. What we're learning, what those youth were sharing today, that's wealth. That's wealth of tradition. So don't just think about passing the money on, pass the wealth of tradition on. Let's think of planting seeds for our people that will blossom 100, 200, 300 years from now. Because as a people, we must think generationally. So I'm starting to close with this last quote. This is the last quote I want to close with right here. Start thinking bigger, praying bigger, expecting bigger. This is a new day. God wants to take you where you've never been. Take that in. Soak that in. That God, Amun-Ra wants to take you places that you've never been. And so let's pass that advice on to our children. If we want more, we must become better. And if you expand your thinking, you will inevitably raise your life condition. Remember, what you are seeking is just an idea away. Ashe.
Ashe. Asante sana.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Minister Amadi, for that message. That message that told us to think generationally, that we are the CEOs of our life experience. And it tells us to think in terms of ownership and not just a job. And he gave those that chart. You should put that chart in the chat. You know how people think, and sometimes the reason why we're in a particular condition is how we think. As I look out, I see most people here are already members, but I'm going to share an invitational song. We had a sister, her name was Ola Rami Hodari, and for many Sundays she would welcome us. She would. This was the song that many people joined on. So if you're not a member, perhaps you can bring yourself forward after this song. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. All right. Has anyone come forward? I see, put some things in the chat. Okay, thank you, Minister Abadi, for putting that in the chat, expanding your thinking. Great message. People are saying, great message, Minister Amadi, great message on teaching today.
Great message.
Yes, that was well delivered, an important message coming from Minister Rana. Put that in there. You know, people are saying, I love that message, Minister Amadi. Perfect for the youth. Great message. Thank you, Minister Amadi. Wonderful, Minister Amadi. Minister Amadi, you always bring innovative messages. So give thanks for your contribution to the youth today. We've had such a great experience with our youth today. And I want to, you know, it's not only Minister Amadi, but it's also Minister Alicia today. The ways that she organized, and also with Michelle Sunshine, Purvis, you know, and Sister Rashonda, bringing those youth together today to give us the affirmation, to give us the prayer, to give us the historical tributes. Excellent job. Thank you, Baba Jeff, for coordinating and working those videos in. It's 11:53, and let's conclude with the song, you know, because we're trying to get out for class at noon. So go ahead, Baba Jeff, give us our song.
Every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening stars. Let us resound loud as the roar.
All right, just want to add, don't want to forget Mama Fanya and Sister Jalea as well. Thank you for putting that in the chat as well. So many contributions, can't keep up. You know, it's just so many people on the screen. I can't keep up with. All right, let's close. And now to them who is able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high. May they empower us to be a people with one aim.
One aim.
One vision.
One vision.
One faith.
One faith.
One destiny.
One destiny.
One love.
One love.
One heart.
One heart.
One God.
One God.
Let us call upon the name of that one God, as our ancestors and elders have done for countless generations, for time immemorial. Let us all say together,
Amen. Amen.
In tune, out of tune. You are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth.
I see.